a crime gang responsible for the biggest gun-running plot ever encountered by UK law enforcement, operated its main stash house from a plush Ancoats residential development, a property in Cottonfield Wharf. A plot at Ancoats Marina was rented out to store guns, ammunition, drugs and vast amounts of cash. Adrian Gonzalez, 33, the gangster in charge of the stash house, has now been jailed for 25 years. The gang's ringleader, Omar Malik, was previously jailed for 38 years, while 4 other conspirators were also handed lengthy prison sentences. A judge at Manchester Crown Court said the gang were responsible for criminality on an exceptional scale. They were behind the supply of cocaine worth 70 million and sold 48 Skorpion machine pistols to other gangsters across the UK and Ireland. This trade in guns and ammunition, Mr. Gonzalez was described by an expert in this field as being amongst the very highest level of criminal firearm trafficking ever encountered by UK law enforcement. Judge John Potter told Gonzalez, who he'd labelled a determined and professional criminal, "You proved willing to be active in a trade which on any view causes misery to many within our communities. You knew and appreciated this harm arising from your actions. You were inspired by nothing more than greed and selfishness, in my judgment, to sacrifice the welfare of countless others with a view to make you very rich indeed." Prosecutors said the gang peddled drugs across the country through an established network of contacts. The cocaine dealt by the gang was high purity and import quality, revealing that those at the top had close links to the original source, the judge said. Records kept by the gang revealed they had supplied about 739 kilos of cocaine between January and May in 2020, a huge quantity said to be potentially worth 70 million. On the streets, the gang also traded in firearms, particularly the terrifying automatic weapons. The evidence in this case is consistent with the intended use of the firearms in the furtherance of violent criminal disputes. Prosecutor Neil Fryman said the gang acquired a number of Grand Power pistols for 147,000, then sold most of them on, the court heard. They also sold 48 Skorpion machine guns for a price between 9,000 and 15,000 each. The members of the gang used encrypted EncroChat mobile phones, believing the devices allowed them to commit crime with impunity. But European law enforcement penetrated the system, and UK police were handed damning messages which implicated them. Gonzalez on EncroChat took orders from Malik and was responsible for the stash house in Cottonfield Wharf. Mr. Fryman said it had been rented out specifically for the purpose of storing large quantities of drugs, firearms, ammunition and cash. When another gang member was arrested, he helped empty it and move items to another location where police seized 4 machine guns and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Gonzalez was also responsible for brokering drugs and gun deals with other criminals and acting as a courier. Prosecutors said the EncroChat messages revealed Gonzalez owned a Skorpion himself, which has never been recovered. He had no previous drug or firearms offences on his record, but was jailed in 2015 for money laundering after being found in possession of 100,000 in cash. Defendant Oliver Cook said that Gonzalez has since been diagnosed with a lifelong and life-reducing medical condition. His prognosis is not a happy one, Mr. Cook said. He said Gonzalez is physically and mentally a different person than he was previously. Gonzalez of City Road, East Manchester, pleaded guilty to conspiring to possess firearms with intent to endanger life and conspiring to supply cocaine, MDMA and amphetamine. Previously, Omar Malik, 33, of St Mary's Parsonage, Manchester City Centre, was found guilty of conspiracy to possess firearm or ammunition with intent to endanger life, conspiracy to supply cocaine, conspiracy to supply MDMA, and conspiracy to supply amphetamine. He was sentenced to 38 years in prison. Daniel Gibbons, 39, of Wordsworth Road, Reddish, Stockport, was found guilty of conspiring to possess a firearm or ammunition with intent to endanger life, conspiracy to supply cocaine, and conspiracy to supply amphetamine. He was found not guilty of conspiring to supply MDMA. He was sentenced to 28 years. Daniel Waters, 41, of Broome Avenue, Reddish, Stockport, was found guilty of conspiring to possess firearms or ammunition with intent to endanger life. He was sentenced to 26.5 years in prison. John Hogan, 40, of West Park, Denton, Tameside, was found guilty of conspiring to supply firearms and ammunition with intent to endanger life, and guilty of being concerned in the supply of cocaine and ketamine. He was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Andrew Cooney, 39, of Oakfield Close, Alderley Edge, was found guilty of conspiring to possess firearms or ammunition with intent to endanger life, and conspiracy to supply cocaine. He was found not guilty of conspiring to supply amphetamine. He was sentenced to 27 years in prison. Connor Sandland, 32, of Redfern Wood, Rochdale, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to possess firearm or ammunition with intent to endanger life, conspiracy to supply cocaine, conspiracy to supply MDMA, and conspiracy to supply amphetamine. He was sentenced to 30.5 years in prison. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my crime channel. Thank you.